So final leg, we are back here for the final weekend in April for the 2019 season. You would think we have 5 months left, getting closer to the Doha World Championships, but it's still very early, but we're still seeing some extremely fast times. Jumping right into it, of course, the big news, Shaunae MillerUibo. That 400 meters again, we saw Michael Norman last weekend with his 43.45. This weekend, MillerUibo was down in Florida at the UF Tom Jones Invitational. She ran 49.05, a huge opener in the 400 meters for her. Very strong performance. Last year, she managed to run 48.97. She became the 10th woman in history to go under 49 seconds. The fact that she's opening up with a 49.05 is huge. She's already super close to her personal best. Of course, this is the second fastest time she's ever run. Only 10 women in history have ever run faster than her, so this is a really big performance. This is a good indicator of what she's going to be able to do. Last year when she ran that 48 seconds, she was the first one to do it since Sonia Richards-Ross had done it twice in 2009, but this shows that she's definitely going to be not only getting into 48 seconds, but probably pushing into the mid to low 48 seconds. We haven't seen anyone run into those mid to low 48 since about 1996, so we're looking at almost 20 years ago when Perec won the 1996 Olympics and Kathy Freeman was right behind her. Perec ran 48.25, so we're looking at MillerUibo in some really fine company. If she's setting things off already, 5 months to go until Doha, she's going to be a really strong competitor. Of course, she has some competition in Samba El Nasser, who ran just behind MillerUibo in that 48-second run. She ran 49.08. So Nasser's going to be on her tail, and a lot of other women are really going to be stepping up this season to try and match and get a spot on that podium in Doha. So keep a lookout for Shaunae MillerUibo this year. So keeping things hot and in the 400 meters, this time we're looking at Abdul Samba. He was running at the Asian Championships this past week. He managed to run 47.51 in those 400 meter hurdles. A huge performance. This is his opener in the 400 meter hurdles. We saw that he improved his personal best in the flat 400s to 44.60. The next weekend we saw Rai Benjamin, likely his best competitor, improve his personal best in the 400 meters. Now Samba is setting the tone for that hurdles race with this 47.51. Last season, he opened his season with 47.90. He ended up ending the season with a 46.98 in that 400 meter hurdles. Not too far off that 400 meter hurdle record. If this is any indicator of what he's likely going to be able to do, he's definitely going to be able to push under that world record. If he gets in a race with Rai Benjamin, which is very likely this season before the World Championships, we're going to be able to see something special if they push each other to a really fast time. So already Samba is setting the tone. Once we see Rai Benjamin open up his season, we're likely going to see something fast as well. Putting Samba, Benjamin, as well as some other guys like Warholm and McMaster together in a race is going to be something special. So keep a lookout for that 400 meter hurdles in the 2019 season. Now let's head back to the US. We saw Jenna Prandini, who runs pro for Puma. She was running at Arkansas at the National Relay Championships. She managed to get the world leads in both the 100 meters and the 200 meters. That 100 meters, she put down a time of 11.10 seconds. Very strong performance. That 200, she managed to follow up and run a 22.53, another world lead. Huge performances for her. She had a really great season last year where she ran a couple Diamond League meets, was a really strong player, also got a new personal best in the 200 meters. So this year, setting things off with this type of performance is definitely going to be an indicator of what she's likely going to be able to do. She's one of the strongest 200 meter runners, not only in the USA, but in the world. So if she's able to make that team to Doha this year, she's definitely going to be a factor when it comes to the medals in Doha. Now, keeping at the national championships at Arkansas, we saw Yannick Braun, who runs for Arkansas in the NCAA. She put down not only an NCAA lead, but also a world lead of 12.57 seconds in the 100 meter hurdles. Huge personal best. That makes her number 5 all time in the NCAA. So really strong performance. She set herself up as that front runner going into NCAA championships. Of course, there's a lot of other ladies, but this being number 5 all time in the NCAA shows that she's going to be the front contender. And we're going to see not only going to NCAA championships, but after going into USA championships, if her and some of the NCAA ladies can really be competing for a spot to those Doha World Championships. Now, keeping it in the hurdles, but moving it over to the men's side and down in Florida, we saw Grant Holloway. We all been following him. He dominated the indoor season in those 60-meter hurdles. He set the NCAA lead earlier this season in the 110 hurdles. He managed to run 13.25 seconds, improving his NCAA lead. Really strong performance. He's gradually getting better. We're going to see if he can push down into that low 13-second range, and we know he has that goal of breaking the NCAA record and going under 13 seconds. So we're going to see what he's going to be able to do. We know he likely has a trajectory of aiming for those World Championships in Doha. So NCAA Championships coming up, USA Championships, and then likely Doha this year. Now, heading back to Asia, in the 110 hurdles though, still we saw Wei Zhongji of China. He managed to win the Asian Championships in a world-leading performance in those 110 hurdles, 13.21 seconds. Really, really strong performance. Again, we have a lot of competitors in those 110 hurdles. Not only Grant Holloway in the U.S., we have Devin Allen from the U.S. as well. We have Omar McLeod, the Olympic champion. We have Sergey Shubenkov, the world champion. So we're going to see a lot of guys really competing for some of those medals when we get to Doha, and she really set himself up as one of those strong contenders as well. Now, Mondo Duplantis, he's been a little quiet, but we know he's aiming for those Doha World Championships. This weekend, he managed to jump 5.94 meters in that pole vault. That's the number 2 jump all time in the NCAA, just off the collegiate record of 5.98. He had a couple attempts at 6.01, but he was unsuccessful. But this is a strong indicator of what he's going to be able to do to finish out the NCAA season. He's likely going to jump at SECs, regionals, and NCAAs, and then just have his pro season leading up to Doha. So keep a lookout for him in the NCAA season as well as the rest of the year. Now, finally, in the women's long jump, we saw Chantel Malone. She was competing at the Torrin Lawrence Invitational. She managed to jump a world-leading performance of 6.90 meters. She jumps for the British Virgin Islands, so that's not only a world lead, but also a personal best and national record for her. So really strong performance. She set herself apart already in the season from some of the other ladies, but we're going to see how things progress in the 2019 season as the summer starts to roll along and we get closer to the Doha World Championships. All right, so just some really strong highlights from a couple performances in track and field. Of course, there's a lot of other meets that happened across the country, across the world, and some great performances. Make sure you guys check those out. Make sure you guys subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment below on what your favorite performance from this past weekend was, and we'll be back again for another video very soon. Thanks.